This is MicheleMarieDalene, North American Snow Queen, and today, of course, we finally have the equipment set up more where we would normally have it set right now. This is being recorded, like it was yesterday, on the 4Mac Studio FS10, and the difference is now we have the BNC to RCA adapter plugs, so we can use the fairly inexpensive standard RCA video cables, and that will make a difference. And of course, we are also connected to the video monitor that is sitting over by the big TV set here. Only because it's just easier to make sure everything's working. Anyway, yesterday, I'm sorry that the video was a little washed out. I did not mean to have that happen. It's just that, it was a quick hurry job and was just trying to see if the concepts were going to work properly, and they did. So that was all I had to say. I tried to make more of a conscious effort to tweak the settings to be more on the ball instead of the way it was yesterday. What I want to do sometime soon is I want to get some more accessories for this camera. And one of the things I think is I wanted to do some outdoor video, but I realized you really need a polarizer to do video outdoors. It's not something that most people think about buying. And they are available if you want to get one. The mount standards. I saw one slip-on adapter that was fit on this TV lens that uses, I think it's a Codex Series 5 adapter. Because it is a vintage adapter, it's going to cost some vintage money. So we'll have to see where it goes from here. So like yesterday, we were testing the camera, but this time we're testing it closer to the normal operating parameters which we use at the Snow Queen Palace. And of course, let me see if we can do a video redo on the discussion we were talking about camera lenses, because I think the last one was a little hard to see it. So now we got the camera gear set up, we can show you stuff better. So let me get some stuff here. Start with the big one. Like I said, big one and heavy. Please don't let me lift this box. This thing is heavy. Now, let's talk about how much technology has changed within the last 40 years. Well, let's get your apples to apples here. 40 years is conservative guess. Something more than 40. Okay, first of all, this is an HR film camera. Let's see what you forget with this one. No, it's a film. It's the military grade. The 70 KRM Bellenhall movie camera. And it's got film in it now, so I don't want to pop this cover open here. Like, you see what you got here. You got your turret. And when you turn this turret, it turns this turret here, which is where the objectives are. Okay, that's... And it's a spring wound motor in this as well. And like I said before, these lenses unscrew. These are the same thread mount as on CCTV camera lens. In fact, you can even use the CCTV camera lens on this camera, which I did try. This is the lens here. This is the solar one here. And I use this lens for its I use the bigger one again to explain it because it's easier to see on the camera. So, back to the 3-inch. When this camera was made, they were talking in terms of inches. Don't ask me why, they just did. Alright? Now, back then, the camera you just saw used film. Not bad. But today, it's digital. Okay? And the nice thing about this camera is, I'm just going to point this out real quick here. You got your power connections, your video output connection, and for the monochrome one, which this is, the Panasonic camera. This is the WVP314. This has a Genlock connection in here for external sync. So you don't have to use the internal sync. If you want to multiplex a whole bunch of cameras together. But it also will work for another kind of application too. I'm going to explain that. Like I showed last time, this camera here also has little dip switches right here that lets you set modes on the camera. Now, you would think this ancient dinosaur shouldn't fit this. Guess again. This actually works very beautifully. This is equivalent to a 76 millimeter telephoto. That's the raw dimension, okay? 76 millimeter, and only thing you gotta watch out for is that this camera lens is very heavy, and as the Panasonic manufacturers recommend, I recommend to find a way to support the lens. The same is true also when you're using many zooms, even on 35 millimeter cameras. The same situation. It is recommended that you support the lens and the camera together. One possible way to do that would be to perhaps mount a simple stand, or in some cases you can do this. This is not one of those cases, I'm afraid, but if you can actually flip this piece over here so that it's not going to really make much of a doggone difference, but the idea is that we might raise it just enough off so that I support it. Forget it, ain't gonna happen. Okay, now, so that's the camera lens. By the way, this is the Yale and bone hole. It's got a size 5 filter. And you can put one of these filters in here. That's one other thing too about these cameras is that almost all film-based cameras can use filters, but most of all the CCTV cameras do not have that function, or do not have the option where you can put a filter in it. So, here's the question. What if you want a filter? I'm just putting this back in the box here. Well, let's talk about the bad old days of film, because it might give the answer to your solution to your problem. Back in the early days of photography, what was done a lot of times is that these companies would come out with these little slip-on filters that would slip on top of the end of the lens. In other words, there was they attached to the camera using like spring metal. Okay, it's not perfect, but it was a start, and that's what they were doing. And this is one way. If you have the proper codec filter adapter, you can mount your camera on. Let's check something here. And now I know how that works. Cool. So, anyway, never mind me. I just happen to be just checking out something here. It's hard to believe, first of all, that this little tiny sensor, this little square in here, is what picks up the picture from the camera and sends that through the composite jacks to your monitor and VCR and things like that. This really works the same as a camcorder, except a couple basic differences. Number one, there's no built-in there's no built-in tape recorder, okay, or DVD recorder or solid state recorder. Two, there's no built-in battery power source. Three, there's no viewfinder, but like I told you yesterday, you can buy these rear view monitors for cars. Cost about, I saw one for about $20 buy it now. It was a 2.5 inch diagonal measure. I know what you're going to say. Isn't it kind of small? Yeah, but you know what? Don't forget one thing. I mean, you don't really need a big, huge honking monitor. I mean, think about it for a second. If I take, I don't have anything that's close to this. Alright, take this hairbrush. Okay, this is my friend's hairbrush. Now, if this is a monitor, and you have a big honking monitor, it looks like, alright, say about the size of this Bible here. And I mounted this on the back of my camera like this. That's kind of friggin' huge, isn't it? I mean, like, what'd you do with it? Well, actually, if that floats your boat, go for it. Actually, I don't need anything that big. I would think that the one I was suggesting, a small 2.5 inch, which is smaller than the scratch-off ticket, would be fine for this type of application because you still be able to see the picture, and it's a color thing, and it runs at about 5 to 12 volts, probably a little higher. I'm sure it's got a voltage regulator sticking inside because the automobile. So electrical system is a mixed bag anyway. That's pretty good. So this camera, the monochrome and the color, as I said, built basically the same way. By the way, this connector on the side here, in case you want to know what this is for, this is for a motorized iris lens. This one's for a motorized iris lens. If you set the camera to ELC, you switch to ALC, and you set it for either DC or video, whatever the camera lens is. This connector on the side here will supposedly adjust your camera so that you can see, the things you're looking at. So, very interesting technology to have that feature. So, all this new technology has made it possible for people to do things now with cameras that, back in the days of film is king, one of these 16mm cartridges like this only held about 4 minutes of footage, and that's all you had. Actually, 2.5 minutes of footage. So 2.5 minutes of footage meant that after you shot your 2.5 minutes of footage, You have to send it to the lab, and depending on the lab you use, it would cost you as much as $20 to $30 to process. It costs you $20 to $30 a piece. I'm talking about the regular list price. And, but I'd say right now, if that's what floats your boat, there's nothing wrong with film. This is a monochrome film. This is a standard tri-X-pan reversal film from Eastman Kodak, and yes, still make it for commercial use. Yes, you can still buy it. It's a start. I have to tell you. What my plan is once we get all the cameras like fine-tuned and working, is we're going to be going to the next stage. We're going to be getting away from the simple stuff that we have now, and we're trying to upgrade to the newer equipment so we can do more functions and more features. And one of the features is to do the chroma key, like I talked about. And chroma key is going to be a real godsend, because with chroma key we're going to be able to go out there and what they do called compositing, to combine several pictures into one. Let's put the equipment over here. Oh yeah, but anyway, the difference. Weight. This camera is very heavy. This is a military camera. I bought this secondhand on eBay. This is like $1,000 camera. I paid like $600 for it. And yes, it does work. The motor works in it, everything. So it's really cool. Nice camera, and it's a nice, powerful tool, and it's well worth the time to use. So now, as I said, I'm going to be exploring these newer cameras, like this one, for different applications, and see what we can do with it as far as features and cool stuff. So, and I wanted to see if like using pentachromatic film on a monochrome, if I put on a number 2 or a I think a slightly higher number Ratten filter, like yellow, green, if you can change the contrast on it. And obviously on the color camera, I'd like to see what would happen if you installed on it a few other filters. The problem I run into in either case is twofold. Number one, yes, if on the color camera, if you put a filter such as an ADA for indoor, yeah, technically you will fix any white balance caused by incorrect light or FL-D. But most of these modern digital color cameras already take care of that white balance, it's called, and so that's really not necessary to do that. But the use of a polarizing filter, especially for outdoor shots, sure, it's a security camera. I know. You look for bad guys with it, you know? You mount it like in your hall or in the, by your entrance to your door or whatever. Yeah, fine. But it doesn't mean that the poor camera should be delegated to the D list of appliance category, okay? Number one, there's no reason why you cannot use this camera like we're using it right now, okay? These cameras from the first video I've done has demonstrated to me that they are quite sophisticated and quite sufficient to really seriously give a good quality picture. And to me, that's important. I prefer to see a camera that can be have a very wonderful, simple, sweet picture, and that's what this does. Okay. Now, so all these things that we're talking about right now, cameras, filters, lens shades. And then top of lens shades. Let me take a second to talk about this. Especially, this is definitely more related to video for security purposes. If your camera is in an area where there might be straight light hitting the lens, this is much more serious, especially the sun. This is much more serious back when we had pickup tubes, such as the Piticon and so the other ones too, called Ceticon, where you can get what they call burn-in, okay? Which will obviously leave a big burnt mark on your tube. Well, you can still get the same thing even with a CCD sensor, because even though it's a lot smaller and the technology is a little more rugged, I know as I said a little more in that area, but it doesn't say it's like, super rugged, but it'll get you there. It'll get you online. You'll be able to do things. And so that's where we stand with the new technology. Next thing I want to talk to you about is, I mentioned this briefly yesterday, and then I did some more research from the National Weather Service. They are standing by their claims that in the months of October, November, and December, that we're going to have in the East Coast a mild winter. However, the central of the country and the West Coast, the Northwest, will see more colder temperatures. They didn't say much specifically about precipitation in either place, but if you have snow and things like that, they're gonna know it, right? So, again, that related to kind of matches up with the National Weather Service report itself that I specifically read said as well. In addition to that, the National Weather Service also put out, but sorry, I'm just a little tired, that in the extended forecast, the temperature will become more prevalent for colder and potentially snowier New England areas of the country. So we'll have to see where it goes from there. But, if it snows in New England, it snows in New England. You know how it is. But anyway, so we'll have to keep that by ear and see how that's going to affect things. And I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. Because like I said, I had the phone technician here today. And he was working on the internet and trying to find out what was going on with internet connections. And he said to me that he thinks he found out what part of the problem is. So, I'll go check it out and see if he can finally get it nailed down and fixed. So, oh yes, please, don't forget to leave your comments. I know you guys have been watching these videos, and I do know that you want to learn and share your blessings with other people. And oh yeah, I bet some of you would like to one day see a video where I can demonstrate the different focal lengths of the different lenses on the camera mount. I will definitely put that under consideration, but for right now, I just want to get this out, and hopefully this time the video will be a lot better quality than the one I did yesterday, which was kind of not quite in the same caliber of professionalism. I was trying to be professional, but you know how it is. It just didn't work out that way. So, there we go. We're going to get all this stuff done. We're going to put everything away. We're going to keep working on the technology, trying to perfect it, improve it. And like I said, I'm going to get some other things to do right now. So, talk to you later, guys.